Another review so soon? Well, aren't you guys lucky? Welcome back to the Extra Zone Arcade, where we talk about games that released months ago because real life stuff got in the way. On the bright side, doing reviews this late usually does allow me to properly dwell on my thoughts. No honeymoon phase or outside influences, this is just purely how I feel about the game. So, let's finally talk about Super Mario Bros. Wonder, shall we? Let's set the stage a bit first. 2D Mario games have been in a bit of a strange place for the last 18 years to say the least. Following the release of Super Mario Land 2, we wouldn't see another mainline 2D Mario for 14 years. I can only assume the reason for this is because the game industry at the time wanted to shift focus away from side-scrolling titles due to feeling dated. Obviously saying something like that nowadays sounds absurd, but that's just how it was from the mid-90s to mid-2000s. Weirdest of all though is the fact that not even the GBA got a new 2D Mario, just re-releases of previous titles with some added content. That all changed in 2006 with the release of New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, a game that I personally don't care much for outside of a few cool boss fights. What I also don't care much for is the fact that the game set the trend for future 2D titles all having basically the same visuals, music, level themes, and gameplay. It's no secret that the New Super Mario Bros. Series is the epitome of bland repetitiveness that fans of other games will look at when criticizing Mario games. This doesn't necessarily make the games bad, in fact I found myself enjoying New Super Mario Bros. Wii and New Super Mario Bros. U quite a lot. Sure, they don't compare to Mario 3, World, or Land 2, but they're solid fun. The problem is, after 5 games released across the span of 13 years, new starts to feel old. Very old. So suddenly it's 2023. We just had a box office smash hit with the Mario movie and Nintendo seemingly doesn't have a game to capitalize on it. That is, until the Nintendo Direct in June closes out with the announcement of a brand new 2D Mario game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Right away I was captivated by what I saw. It wasn't just going to be another new Super Mario Bros. Game. This one looked fresh, exciting, weird, unique, and so charming from the get-go. I know this line gets repeated a lot, but it felt like we were finally going to get a game with actual soul put into it. For years what I wanted was a 2D game that could give me the same feeling of joy I got playing Super Mario Odyssey, and as more information came out, it looked more and more like that's what we were going to get. So many playable characters, cool wonder effects, and levels that pop. It really seemed like this could be the perfect evolution of 2D Mario. So did it live up to that expectation? Well, buckle in, because we're going to be here for a while to answer that. Let's talk about the story. Alright, so let's go over to the gameplay. Okay, we'll talk about the story. It's a Mario game story alright, but this time things are a little different. Mario and friends make their way to the Flower Kingdom to meet the Prince Florian. He's a little caterpillar dude who joins in on the adventure. All is going well until Bowser attacks, grabbing the Wonder Flower and turning himself into a castle. Yeah, so you'd think he transformed into the ship carrying the castle, considering that's the thing that emotes and talks to us, but Bowser himself is just the castle on top. Anyways, he makes his way through the kingdom, trapping the native poplins in their homes in hopes that he can perform his huge wonder, whatever that is. All we know is that it can't be good, so it's up to Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Blue Toad, Yellow Toad, Toadette, and 4 Yoshis, and Nabbit, for some reason? Isn't this guy a convicted felon? Who invited him? Yeah, so it's up to the team to stop Bowser to bring peace to the land once again. Nothing crazy story-wise, but again, it's a Mario game. What I will say is that I'm glad we're out of the Mushroom Kingdom for this journey, as it means we have a whole lot more to work with visually. And I just want to say that this game is absolutely gorgeous. The environments are really creative and super appealing to look at, the characters are beautifully animated and expressive in a way I feel we really get to see, and everything is just extremely stylized here. The Nintendo Switch is almost a 7-year-old system. In fact, there are probably some people watching this that were barely cognizant when it came out. Damn, I'm old. And this game is still one of the prettiest games of the year. It just goes to show how much art direction matters. One thing that I really respect here is how they're not afraid to break models to get them to look more appealing. Take Mario's running animation for example. Looks really expressive and stylish from the side, right? Well, this is how it looks from the front. This is a technique that's becoming more commonplace for 3D animation, and I'm extremely happy to see it used here. The incredibly detailed backgrounds and lively world never failed to leave me in awe as I was playing, and combined with the animations, I think this is the most visually appealing game in the entire series. Yeah, out of every Mario game, I think this is honestly the most aesthetically pleasing, and that is no small compliment in a series full of very artistic games. Now, we can get to the part you're all here for, the gameplay. I'm fairly confident in saying this is the best the cast has ever controlled in 2D. It's fast, fluid, and responsive. I never had a death or a frustrating moment that happened because of the controls. I knew it would always be of my own error. Of course, you could dash, jump, and spin just like in previous side-scrolling titles. Power-ups like the Super Mushroom, Fire Flower, and Star appear here and function like they do in every other game. The new power-ups are where things get a bit more interesting. The main power-up featured in this game's marketing was the Elephant Flower, which unlike previous animal-themed power-ups, just straight up turns you into one. It's just so out of left field that you can't help but kinda love it, even if the actual designs themselves are kinda hit or miss. Elephant Toad is perfect, but Elephant Pete's just looks off. Like, there's no soul behind those eyes. Right, so yeah, this power-up basically gives you a trunk attack and can also absorb water to shoot out. This ability is mostly used for puzzle solving, but overall was pretty cool. You even get a different animation if you finish the stage with some water. But there are 2 more power-ups which are very cool in their own right. The drill mushroom allows you to burrow underground or on walls and ceilings. It can also break certain objects and acts as armor, such as in case enemies fall on you, for example. The bubble flower might be my favorite though. Shout out to that one artist that predicted the design like 3 years prior, by the way. But yeah, the bubble flower allows you to shoot missiles. No, of course it's bubbles. These can be used to quickly defeat enemies or even use them to boost your jumps. Very versatile and just super fun to use. One thing I will say is I wish the power-ups had a little more influence in the game as a whole. It kind of feels like they take a backseat to the actual level gimmicks a lot of the time. This isn't necessarily a bad thing though, as pretty much every level gimmick is really fun and creative. I just wish the power-ups played into it a little bit more. Speaking of the stages, there really isn't much I can say other than just play them for yourself. Going through the game blind is one hell of an experience. You're always going to be in for something new or interesting with each stage, and you'll even get some variation in the types of stages you play. There are your standard levels where you get to the flag at the end, break time levels which act as mini challenges to get wonder seeds, and search party levels where you have to locate wonder tokens that are very well hidden to get a wonder seed. I would recommend playing those online or with a friend. To kind of spring off with that, I was actually very surprised with how fun the online functionality in this game was. At first I wasn't too convinced with the idea of playing with ghosts instead of having actual online rooms, but as soon as I started playing around with it I realised what they were going for. The ghosts you play with are live players, meaning that you can interact with them on some level, be it with emotes or standees. It actually felt pretty cool finishing a level and getting to share the victory with strangers, I can't lie. But as I mentioned before, search parties are where you really want to be online. The sense of community I felt while playing those is something I feel isn't captured in a lot of online games. Everyone is just trying to help each other out, and I think that's really wholesome. The local multiplayer itself isn't too bad either, and it could be seen as either a positive or negative that you can't troll your friends anymore. I guess that depends on whether or not you were on the receiving end back in the new soup days. However, I did neglect to mention one level type, and that would be badge challenges. You'll play through short courses where you're given an extra move in the form of a badge. Complete these levels to earn their respective badges, which you can use throughout the game. Let's go over some of the more interesting ones you can get. The parachute cap allows you to glide short distances. It's the first one you get, so you'll probably stick with this one for a bit. Second is the wall climb jump, which gives you a Mega Man X style wall jump. It's pretty useful and looks cool when you use it. The grapple vine allows you to shoot webs and stick to them. Oops, wrong game. I was thinking of that other game that released on October 20th, which you should definitely check out my review of, shameless plug. Then there was the boosting spin jump, which was my personal badge of choice. It's basically a double jump, and double jumps are never not useful, so I kept it on practically all the time once I unlocked it. And lastly, there are the expert badges. Spring feet jump makes it so you're constantly jumping as you move, kinda like the frog suit in Mario 3. Jet run makes it so your dashing speed is much faster and you literally go from 0 to 100 instantly, which can make it pretty unwieldy. The invisibility badge makes you completely invisible to everyone, even yourself. Yeah, I don't think I need to explain why this one could be problematic, but I bet it will make for a fun challenge video down the line. Anyway, there is one more challenge badge, but we'll talk about that later. The badges pretty greatly enhance the depth of gameplay here, and I feel like they actively encourage you to revisit levels in a way previous Mario games never really did. While on that topic, this game has crazy replayability to it, and I even have levels I like to go back to often. Usually when it comes to 2D Mario levels, I'll play them, have fun, and then kinda move on with my life. Wonder changes that, and I couldn't be happier. The levels themselves can vary drastically in just a single world, so you'll never be bored or stuck with one thing for more than a moment. Practically every level has something new to offer, and it's almost always something extremely fun. These levels are densely packed with things to find, and the amount of interactivity here surpasses anything we've seen in 2D Mario up to this point. If you ever look at something in the game and think, I wonder if I can do anything with that, you probably can. Levels also have a difficulty indicator, which usually doesn't mean much outside of a couple of exceptions. Still, I think it's pretty neat to have it there and does give more of an option for casual players to get through the game. Overall, I don't think there's a single level in this game where I played it and didn't have an absolute blast. It's a testament to just how damn near perfect this game is that I can say that, and that's really just it. That's the ultimate point of this video. I genuinely believe Super Mario Bros. Wonder is a perfect video game. I genuinely tried to think of a legitimate and significant enough flaw to mention, but nothing. This game has no flaws to me. It's rare that I feel like I can say that, but every time I pick this game up, I just get a game that's polished to a shine. A game that's crafted with so much love and care with the most fun platforming gameplay I've practically ever experienced. This game had me grinning ear to ear from start to finish. There was literally never a dull moment here, and I think that's absolutely commendable. Comparing this game to something like Super Mario Odyssey, I would say that game is 3D Mario perfected. Regardless of that, it still has one or two things I could nitpick where Wonder just doesn't. After thinking about it for the past 4 months, considering everything, I think Super Mario Bros. Wonder might be my favourite Mario game of all time. I've made it no secret that Super Mario World has always taken the #1 spot for me, with Odyssey following just behind. But to my absolute shock and delight, Wonder has taken that crown, and it's just so awesome to have a game win me over like this again. I know it's kinda corny and overplayed, but this game filled me with that childhood wonder I felt playing Mario World for the first time. My hope is that for whatever they do next, it has even half the creativity and sense of discovery that this game has. Nintendo has struck something absolutely golden here, and if this keeps up, we could be looking at the best video game ever made. Oh, and yeah, your reward for completing the final and very difficult challenge of the game, on top of 100%ing it, is a badge that changes almost every sound effect to a guy ad-libbing them. Funniest completion reward of all time, 10 out of 10 game of the year.
Onward and upward. What a beautiful day.
And that just about does it for today. Thanks for watching the review, and let me know how you feel about Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I'm thinking for my next review we're gonna switch it up, and it won't be a game review. It may or may not be for a certain Netflix series featuring a particular blue hedgehog. Other than that, let me know what else you want to see me cover in the future. Leave a like, subscribe, and come on over to Twitch if you want to get involved in some livestream shenanigans. But alright, I'll get out of your hair now. Catch you later. Peace.